Hey, it's Jacob again. I'm here to give you guys lesson 3 today. And if you haven't checked out my previous videos, I encourage you to. But today's lesson 3, we're probably going to do family. Family and also like people in general. This could take a little while, so I won't get everything. I'm going to try my best, but at least I can get you a little bit started on it. Remember that I said earlier that sign language is a conceptual language, right? So there's certain trends and consistencies that you'll see throughout them, the signs. So, for example, men are generally on the upper half of the face and females are on the lower half of the face, and you'll see this throughout their signs. Okay, so for boy, or just the generic word for male, you're going to do hand open and close it outward like a baseball cap. Boy. And girl, your thumb is up, your fingers are closed, and it goes down your cheek. Girl. I think of a bonnet being tied. Girl. So boy and girl. Stemming from that, you have father. And I've seen it in front, and I've seen it kind of off to the side, depending on how fast the person's signing. But father, and then mother. Again, the upper and lower half of the face. When you do two arcs with your hands, it's like 2 generations, so it's grandfather and grandmother. We also have aunt or aunt, which is an A shaking by your jaw, aunt. And you also have uncle, which is a U shaking up in the upper half of your face, uncle and aunt. You also have niece, which is an N shaking, niece, and nephew, niece and nephew. You can also do cousin there, cousin, depending on the gender of the cousin, cousin. Okay, good. Rewinding a little bit, the sign for family, you make the letter F with both your fingers, both hands make the letter F. You start towards your body, and you go in a circle outward away from your body and come together. Family. It's kind of like making a circle like a donut. Family. And this is a concept that comes across a lot in sign language, meaning like group. You can have club, you can use G's for group, a T for team, F for family. It's the idea of people being together, gathered around. Okay? So family. Boy, girl, mother, father, uncle, aunt, niece, nephew, cousin, and cousin. That's good. That's good. We also have some other signs that kind of, I would call, you know how we have compound words in English? Well, they're compound signs. So, if you do something like boy down to same, and same is just my 2 index fingers are pointing out and they're next to each other. They look the same together. Boy to same, or I've also seen boy and your hands are shaped in like these L shapes. Both I've seen for brother and also brother. I'm doing boy to start that sign. If you do girl, it's sister, sister. Okay? Another compound would be if you're going to do boy into marriage. It'd be husband. And girl into marriage would be wife. Wife and husband. Another compound would be son, boy into baby. Son and daughter. Girl. Son and daughter. Another sign is children, like you're patting them on the head, or child, which is 1. Children. And depending on your story, you can change the height. If I'm talking about really small children, I'm going to keep it really low. Children. If I'm talking about maybe middle school children, I can be like the children and have it a little bit higher. Because where are they relative to me? Children. Children. Now, that conveys a certain concept depending on the height of your hand. But you're tapping them on the head. I've also seen a sign, kid. My pinky and my index finger are up. My thumb is across my other two fingers that are down. And it goes like this, kind of like if they have runny nose and so forth. Okay, let's do some other people. A lot of times in sign, when you refer to a occupation or something, you have the word person onto it. So, the sign for person is you have straight hands and they go down. Person. I've also seen it with P's. Person. People is generally P's going in a circle. It's the idea of person, 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 person. You know? But person or person. So, if I wanted to say a garbage man, I would say a trash person. Or a student is a learning you take from your hand, where the book is, bring it to your mind. Learning person. A student. A teacher is someone who teaches, from my mind to your mind, teaches person. A teacher. A student. Person. Okay? It's very important. Now, does that mean every sign is? No, I can think of two right now. When you do things like doctor or nurse, D, tapping your wrist, like they're taking your pulse, doctor, or an N for nurse. But I've also just seen the hand tapping there, doctor, nurse. It depends on the context, depends on where you're at, depends on how fast they're signing. And I say that because I don't know if you've ever seen someone who's deaf sign, but when someone's deaf and they sign to another deaf person, they can reach some incredible speeds. And yeah, they're not saying individual words like we are in English. They're conveying concepts. And the cool thing about sign is that if the other person understands your concept, you can keep going in the conversation. You don't need to backtrack and make sure they have it. That being said, though, if they are trying to convey a concept to you and you aren't getting it, to just say, oh yeah, I get it, move on, is not a good idea, because you'll lose context and suddenly they'll be off in another direction and you will be lost. So if you don't get it, make sure you're conveying it by saying no or looking confused, and they'll try to clarify it, try to approach it from a different angle so that you can get that concept. Because let's be honest, the whole reason for communicating with any other person, with any language, is to convey one concept from one person to another, or to discuss those concepts.